Hey everybody, and welcome to our second Guns N' Roses edition of MCP Sound Check. I'm Scott.
And I'm Joe.
And we are talking about volumes 1 and 2 of Use Your Illusion, as mentioned by Guns N' Roses. This was a very unique kind of idea for its time, you know? Yeah. To put out, there's been double albums before, but never but very rarely do you see artists put out essentially the same volume, like 2 volumes of one record, but like individually, but at the same time.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Because to the best of my knowledge, there is no like full blown like collection of the two, or at least there wasn't at the time. There's one where it's like a best of.
Yeah, there's a best
both,
of,
but not one where it's like both full records.
Yeah, there's nothing that sells them both together in entirety, unless it came out years and years later.
Yeah, but at the time, it was like
it was just you had to get one, and you also had to get the other.
Exactly. One thing I do want to comment on, and it's something we don't normally talk about on Soundcheck, although maybe we should. I really like the cover of both of these records because it's the same cover, but I like
the color swap.
But I like the color. I do like that. I like the way it is. I don't know why.
Like, it makes sense for the double kind of. It's a pseudo double record. So
yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of like it's just like it's almost like their way of like hey, in case you can't read, they're the same record, just one.
It's like if you don't know Roman numerals,
yeah, or at the very least, if you don't know the chronological order of colors,
yeah.
Here you go. But I just really like it. I think it's one of the more iconic album covers. That's one thing I will give them. Like they have 2, in my opinion, very iconic album covers. Appetite being one, and then Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 being another one. But that being said, let's get right into it. Use Your Illusion Volume 1.
Okay, it was released September 17th, 1991, at the same time as Use Your Illusion Volume 2, and it was produced by Mike Klink and Guns N' Roses.
Yes. Which basically means most of the production was done by W. Axl Rose. Sorry, I love the fact that he's credited as W.
Can we boost the vocals a little bit more?
Yeah, and can we lower everybody else?
Yeah.
But no, this record is kind of... I feel like more so with both volumes, but this one more so. I feel like this was Axl's way of saying, hey, let's be the Beatles. Like, that's the vibe I get from Use Your Illusion, is let's be the Beatles. And nothing encapsulates that more than the fact that they covered a former Beatles song,
Live and
Let Die by Paul McCartney and Wings, which, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the worst song on the album, but I think it's a very weak cover.
Maybe. I mean, I like this version more than the Paul McCartney one, and that might sound like blasphemy.
No, you're not.
And there's another cover on the second one that is a great one, and it easily equals the original.
Yeah,
but
I know what you're talking about. I feel the same way.
They're both really long records.
I think
they're over an hour each.
I was gonna say I think they both clock in at about 75 minutes.
Yeah,
so give or take. So you need to
buckle up, baby. We're going on a ride.
Yeah, you need to if you're gonna put these records on, you need to make time for it. These aren't records that you can just pop on any old time. Like, you gotta be in the mood, you gotta be ready, you gotta plan to do this. And if you're trying to do both of them, you really gotta plan it out.
And I think we both have the opinion that they're both very good records.
Yes.
But they'd be even better if they, took a couple of the songs out and either smushed them together or just made them less long individually.
Honestly, they could have afforded to cut, half of each record and made a 3rd volume. As far as I'm concerned. They could have easily done 3 volumes or even 4 volumes compared to... Well, when I get into... later on, I can get into why I feel that way.
I personally think there's some songs that just aren't strong enough.
Oh no.
I think they could
I
have been
agree.
more on like a Lies, like a B-sides record.
Yeah, there was this was definitely.
Or maybe we could have saved some for Spaghetti Incident. We'll get there.
Like I feel like the length has more to do with. I think they just really were like they wanted to make a long record. It wasn't like they made a record that turned out to be long. I think they deep down they wanted this record to be long, and they wrote a bunch of songs that were good and fit, but didn't have the right time length. So then they added a bunch of stuff, and there's a lot of songs here that feel rushed, that feel out of place, that feel unnecessary. Like some songs I think just stop abruptly.
I don't remember any stopping abruptly. It's just a lot of times just strange transitions.
Yeah, between
real mishmash of styles.
Yeah, I feel like, and it's so weird to have two records that came out on the same day or worked on at the same time, but like you get a feel that like one learned from the mistakes of the other mid-process. Because I'm sorry, the flow of Use Your Illusion Volume 1 is so over the place.
It's so jilted.
But then you listen to the flow of Use Your Illusion Volume 2, and the flow is perfect. Like each song bleeds better into the other one. It feels right. Like no, you don't go from one song to the other and think, wait, what the fuck? Like, what just happened?
Yeah,
what are we doing?
I did that a couple times in Use Your Illusion 1, which is what we're going to start off with.
Yes.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite track is a no-brainer. It's November Rain. And to me, it's their best song.
We're starting to diverge from each other for once.
No. Our favorite songs are always different. It's the songs we hate that are always the same.
Okay.
But no, I just think this is one of their best songs. I think of Axl's wanting to be more thematic, more operatic, more epic. I think this song is their magnum opus of that.
And Slash absolutely kills this song.
He slashed it.
Yeah, he's great. It's a great song. I'm not going to disagree that it's not great.
Yeah, and I mean Slash, and the thing is, like, even with some of the tracks that don't work very well on here, you can't blame the guitar. You know what I mean? That's
the guitars are almost all fantastic on every track.
But November Rain is so good because it goes in like these different directions, but everything gels so well from one to the other, and the feeling's right, the lyrics are good. Like I said, it's just overall one of their stronger songs. But as far as what I feel like they were trying to do with Use Your Illusion, this song perfectly encapsulates what they were trying to do. I just wish it was on Volume 2. I really
just to make it easier on you.
Yeah.
Mine's Don't Cry.
Don't Cry is good.
Yes, it is.
It's not a bad song.
It's one of two versions on the different Use Your Illusion.
Oh, damn it! I was gonna wait till after 2 to ask you about that. Or to bring that up.
I really think this is a standout song on the first volume. It comes in at the first half of the record, which is,
the best half.
Yeah, because I think November Rain's maybe 1 or 2 songs after it.
Something like that.
And then you hit that halfway point. It just kind of...
Yeah.
But it's a great song. Again, it's got great guitars on it. This volume, like the two kind of more power ballad-like songs are head and shoulders above the rest.
Yes.
Because I don't feel like you can find anything else on that side, on that volume that even compares to those two. Yeah, I feel like, and lyrically, I just feel like Axl is trying way too hard to be a tough guy on a lot of. Yeah. I mean, on both of them, but I think one was too. It was just Axl trying way too hard to be cool. For me personally, I just feel "Don't Cry" it's more subdued than November Rain, but I like that one more. It's my personal preference. All right. My least favorite song, and this is one where I can say the worst song because I really don't like this song. I think Coma is probably the biggest piece of garbage on this record. We do diverge, man. We do diverge. I hate it. I love long songs. I love long songs, but at over 10 minutes long, and most of this song is just like voiceover, just stuff which I hate that. If you're gonna do it, make it work. I don't think it works. It just feels like we had like a 3 or 4 minute song that would have been okay, but then it's like we gotta splice in like 5 minutes of extra crap. And I really just don't like it. I think I think it was an okay song that got dragged way too long. If it wasn't so long, wouldn't even mention it. But the fact that it's so long
and all it is just all this like extra like hospital noise and shit. I couldn't get into it. I wanted to skip it so bad, but it was the last song, so I was like, oh, I can't really skip it, so I might as well.
I like Como, to be honest.
And that's all right.
And I get where you're coming from if you don't like the kind of like sound clip kind of deal.
It can be used right. Another bad example would be really. It's like if it wasn't as bad as Girls, Girls, Girls at the end of that, but it was still kind of like. But it felt like it was literally there to extend the length of the record, not to actually do something.
I really didn't want to like it because it was 10.5 minutes, but I really did. My least favorite is Bad Obsession.
I can see that.
There's so many songs on this volume that are just kind of nothing songs. And Bad Obsession is one of them. I didn't think... Like, it has kind of the It's So Easy kind of vibe, I think, with his vocals.
Yeah, but it lacked the
There's no attitude.
It lacked... I think that's something that was very missing in a lot of those songs, was the attitude.
Yeah, and it also, like, there's a lot of really good, like, blues guitar playing on Use Your Illusion Volume 1, but just, it doesn't work with whatever the songs and arrangement they had. I don't know, but it just didn't click.
Yeah, and, like, the heavier, faster songs are alright, but they were good, but they didn't have that punch that, like, Appetite had.
Yeah, and that's the one really, like, kind of jarring effect if you go from Appetite to Use Your Illusion, is you don't have quite that gritty attitude that Appetite has.
Yeah.
But Use Your Illusion's a much more polished record.
Yeah, and I think for a band like Guns N' Roses, that might have been the problem. Is like, not every band can do the polished thing. However, it does kind of play off of how, like, diverse their records are when you go from Appetite to Lies to Volume 1 and 2 of Use Your Illusion.
I mean,
and then Chinese Democracy later on.
I do dig the experimentation.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of Use Your Illusion 1 is kind of a practice run.
Yeah, it really, like I said, it was, I've never seen quite a quick example of learning from your mistakes as the difference between Volume 1 and 2 of Use Your Illusion.
Okay, are we doing, like, sleepers?
I was going to say, I think the most underrated song, and honestly the only really good song outside of, like, Don't
Cry in November Rain.
Don't Cry in November Rain, yeah, is Right Next Door to Hell.
That is a great song.
That's the only song that really felt like it had the balls, like the punch of what you expect from Guns N' Roses. It's really good. It gels. Axl's vocal... Because the other thing is, like, Axl's vocals in a lot of songs get very, quote-unquote, Axl-y.
Oh, yeah.
And to where, like, you can't really understand them, which, honestly, that has a little to do with my favorite song on the next record. But, and I'll explain. But I just feel like this song was like, it's a quintessential Guns N' Roses. If you heard this song without hearing Axl's vocals, you knew it was Guns N' Roses. You were just like, I don't know which song it is, but I know this is Guns N' Roses.
That's a great opening track. I almost put it as a sleeper, but I actually had two options.
Well, you have as many options as you want for this selection.
You're not going to like one of them.
It's Coma, isn't it?
One of them is Coma.
It's alright.
Because it snuck up on me. I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is a 10.5 minute song. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to like this. And going the way Use Your Illusion 1 goes, trust me, nobody thinks they're going to like that song when they get to it. But I'm telling you, it's really worth the listen. The other one is Perfect Crime.
Perfect Crime is good. Perfect Crime is good.
It's another one of those ones, it's a sleeper in the first half of the record.
Yeah.
And it's one that has the Guns N' Roses attitude in it.
Yeah.
That's what you need, man.
I was gonna put in my underrated or hidden gems of this record, I was gonna put either The Garden or Garden of Eden, but the only reason I didn't pick them is I can't remember which one I liked.
Yeah.
Because they're right next to each other.
And they're very different.
So
I would have gone with Garden of Eden.
I was gonna say, between the two of those, whichever one's the good one, I recommend that one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I should be a little...
not a great microcosm of Use Your Illusion 1. I don't know what it is.
I'm just saying.
Your two songs, they have similar titles, or some other ones just sound similar.
Yeah.
But one's really good, and one's really not.
Yeah, like, it really would have helped to, like, maybe separate these songs, or maybe
not put them back to back?
Yeah, like, it's very confusing.
Okay.
But speaking of confusing, let's dive into Use Your Illusion Volume 2, aka, holy shit, the good Use Your Illusion album.
I think that's a little harsh, but yes, that's right.
I have to be harsh because I listen to these motherfuckers back to back.
Me too.
I mean, literally right after the other, and
Me
I
too.
gotta say, it is night and day, which is fitting because the main color of the Volume 1 is yellow, and then the one is like bluish purple, kind of like a night thing. Although, but like it's so much better mixed. It's so much better organized as far as like track listing.
Yeah,
the song choices are really.
Better.
Not only are the choices of songs are really good, but the choice of song order is really good. Mm-hmm. It got the better cover song.
Okay.
Of the two.
That is true. That is fact right there. That's a straight fact.
It knows what it wants to be. It knows when it wants to be it. It knows what to do. It knows what not to do.
It knows what to say. I
have a really weird feeling Axl had less to do with this, or maybe more. I think this is a case of
you just never know with the guy.
One or two. I just feel like 1 and 2 had more influence from one person or one group over the other. I just can't figure out who.
I almost feel like these albums are so bloated because everybody wanted to get their
shit in.
Yeah, everybody wanted to get their shit in. And it just caused a lot of really jumbled and mixed up stuff. Nobody really was agreeing on anything.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. So that makes the most sense to me of why these albums are so up and down.
And now the thing is, if you listen to just Use Your Illusion Volume 1, you can definitely hear it. Mm-hmm. You listen to Use Your Illusion 2,
it's less
apparent. You don't notice it. You don't get that. I don't get that feeling at all from 2. From 1, definitely.
2 is an overall, I think. It's much more consistent.
Absolutely. It's a much more enjoyable. I enjoyed listening to 2. I didn't so much enjoy.
It's less work to listen to 2 than it is to 1.
Like listening to Volume 1 felt like I'm looking at the clock. Listening to Volume 2, I'm randomly looking at the clock because I don't care, and I'm like, oh wow, it's almost done. Yeah. You know, like it was a much more enjoyable experience listening to Volume 2.
Favorite song?
Favorite song? I might get some heat for this, but keep in mind, musically, I like it. You Could Be Mine.
That's one of mine, and I made it an option because I wasn't sure where you were going to go. It's a fantastic song.
I've actually gotten, because I know you said what it's about, but I've gotten conflicting.
It could be read that way, but it's apparently it's about Izzy Stradlin's failed relationship.
Yeah,
which I did not see it the first time I heard it.
So I was gonna say, I know some people look at it as a very racist song, but when you
it's not 1 in a million.
But when you hear about the Izzy Stradlin thing,
it's really weird.
And you know this, and you learn the story. It makes a lot more sense for it to be about that. I really like it. I thought it has a really great groove, really great punch. Mm-hmm. It's like, again, quintessential Guns N' Roses. This is the kind of song that when you think Guns N' Roses, you immediately go to a song that sounds like this.
You know what would help is if you could understand most of the lyrics.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But even at the same time, it adds that Axl attitude into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if it was in the racist wheelhouse, which again I wouldn't necessarily be happy about, but because you can't understand Axl, you could easily just be like, hey, you know.
So I'm gonna go in deference to being different. I'm gonna pick Civil War.
Civil War.
Great opener.
It's really good.
It's one of the best openers. One of the best opening tracks that I know of. It's got to be on that list.
Oh, that's my number 2 favorite song on the album.
Same. Like I had 1 and 2 as Civil War and You Could Be Mine. They go back and forth, and it's just a great track. It's longer. It has the great Cool Hand Luke sound clip in the beginning, and I feel like this is the one you're gonna be like, that's how you do it right.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
And it's a great song, and it has a really nice message about let's try and get rid of some of the hate, guys, and just kind of get
which is kind of
where everybody's coming from.
Which is funny when you listen to a lot of the other songs on the record. Yeah. And you're like, hey Axl, you just preached peace. Now you're challenging reporters to fights.
Yeah. Okay.
Which brings me to my worst song on the album, which is, it's actually a tie, but I'm gonna give it to Get in the Ring.
Ooh, really?
It's between Get in the Ring and My World. But My World, I'm adding there because it's not even a minute and a half. I think it's so pointless. It sounds ugly. It doesn't sound like anything else on the record. It doesn't work. And on top of everything, like, it's just, like I said, it's pointless. It really seems to me like it has no purpose to be there other than to make it as long as Volume 1. But Get in the Ring, I think it's Get in the Ring. If it's not, it's like Step in the Ring. Yeah, Get in the Ring. I really don't like that song. It is so lame. It is so, lyrically, it is so lame and so, and so cheesy. I'm having trouble talking about it. That's how much I don't like it. I think this is definitely a vanity song for Axl. I think this is a song that is very self-absorbed. I think this is a song that, obviously doesn't stand the test of time because they do not do it live at all. Apparently, they didn't really do it live that much during the tour, which, I mean, when you have 2 records worth of songs, you can afford to leave
let alone your first record being Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah. But I just really hate this song. It feels very, if I may quote Lars Ulrich, musically it also does feel a little stock. It doesn't feel very important or epic or cool or anything. It literally just felt like Axl had a bunch of shit he wanted to get off his chest, so he started ranting, and Slash just started playing along with his rant, and that became a song.
I disagree. I like it. I like the song.
And that's, again, that is all right.
To me, again, for me, a lot of Guns N' Roses comes down to having that attitude.
To me, there's attitude, and then there's blatant, like I said, vanity. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that bothers me. Like, when he's straight out calling individuals out in a song, it's like... And at the end of the song, in a lame talking segment, again, which I'm not the biggest fan of, it didn't do it for me. What's your, your least?
I had a few options here.
Oh, God.
It surprised me because I like Use Your Illusion too. And I do like it in general. But I had a few of them. Let me look here. Breakdown was my least favorite.
I could see that.
That one, I slated that real quick into that slot.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones, like So Fine just doesn't really fit, and I like Duff.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work, and his voice doesn't really work for the song.
Yeah.
That would have been, I don't know, you pick somebody else.
I mean, to be fair, and I know we're going to talk about Spaghetti Incident next time, but, like, that also goes into Spaghetti Incident with attitude. Like, I like Duff, but he's just not my idea of a singer.
Yeah, he can pull off certain tracks.
This was just not one of them.
Yeah, that one's not one. And the other one was Estranged.
Oh, you don't like Estranged?
I didn't like Estranged.
I think Estranged could afford to be shorter.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were trying to do something with it, a la November Rain. But
it doesn't work.
But I think they did it much better with November Rain. However, Estranged video did feature Axl swimming with dolphins, so at least we got that.
And that one, I think it's the last one I put in the group. It doesn't. It's probably the one I hate the least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought those were 3 really weak tracks on Use Your Illusion 2, and I thought the rest of them were fine. Like, I can see where you're coming from with My World, because it just kind of
there.
It's a weird way to end the record. That's something that, like, new metal bands would have done to open records.
Yeah.
And
even they would have done it better
later.
than this.
But, I get it. I enjoyed it. It was just nothing. To me, if it's that for like a minute and 20 seconds versus like Bad Obsession being like 5-6 minutes long.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the longer one because I got to sit through it longer.
Basically, I think the point me and Joe are trying to get at is this was a case of the length actually hurting the record and certain songs rather than helping. And then as far as underrated, hidden gems, whatever, I think the best song that literally nobody talks about is Locomotive.
It's a great song.
I really enjoyed Locomotive. It caught me by surprise.
It's one of those ones, again, 8 minutes, and you're like, man, am I really on board with this 8-minute song?
I mean...
And then you listen to it, and it's great.
And basically, you listen to Locomotive, and you're like, not only am I on board, I'm all aboard this one.
I'm all aboard that Locomotive.
Train jokes, I got them.
I'm on that train. It's better than Night Train.
I can't disagree with that. I can't agree, but I also can't disagree.
But yeah, it's a great track.
What about you?
For me, I think I got a couple here. 14 Years.
Oh, 14 Years surprised me too. Like that was really, coming off of Volume 1 and then going to this one, 14 Years really surprised me at how good it was.
Yeah, it's a great track. I had another one was Locomotive, and I also had Get in the Ring. I liked Get in the Ring. 14 Years is fantastic. Again, one of those great songs that it still has that kind of attitude, down underneath.
Yeah.
And you can just feel it when you listen to Guns N' Roses. You'll either feel it or you don't, and generally you're not going to like the ones that you don't feel it with, and generally you're going to like the ones you do feel it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, but now it's time to decide. Joe, of the 4 Guns N' Roses records we've reviewed so far, which, from worst to best, how do you rank them?
Number 1's going to be Appetite. No surprise. Use Your Illusion 2 is going to be number 2. Again, no surprise. I'm going to pick Lies is my 3rd. I'm going to put Use Your Illusion 1 at number 4 right now. Because I feel Appetite is far and away the best. Use Your Illusion 2 is behind it, but just slightly, just because there's a couple downfalls in it. Lies, it's a short record, but it's quality stuff throughout, almost the entire thing. Yeah. And then Use Your Illusion 1, long, really up and down. The highs are great, but the lows are low.
Very low. All right, so for me, number 1, Appetite, without question. Number 2 is going to be Lies.
Ooh.
I like the shorter records.
I like that kind of demo feel to it.
Yeah, I liked it. I think
it's very Guns N' Roses.
The cover songs on there were done very well, but I also really like the acoustic stuff. I mean, Patience is a classic. I mean, you can't you don't mess with that one. And also, I really like the song "Used to Love Her."
It's a great song.
I can't help it. It showed. I feel like in a weird way, being acoustic, it showed off their sense of humor. Mm-hmm. It showed off more of the personality of the band, not just the attitude, which I liked about Lies. Use Your Illusion Volume 2, and then Use Your Illusion Volume 1 would be their worst album as of now. As of now,
we've got one more episode to go, and we're pretty sure they're going to fill up the last couple slots.
That's right. So if you enjoyed this, tune in for our last episode on Guns N' Roses discography as we talk about the Spaghetti Incident and Chinese Democracy. But before you do that, before you decide to do anything else, don't forget to like and subscribe, like this video, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to find us on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, you name it. We're everywhere.
It's true. We are everywhere.
And like I said, when you subscribe, make sure to hit that bell so you get notifications of every new Condish production that comes your way. Mm-hmm. So until next time, I'm Scott.
And I'm Joe.
Reminding you that rock and roll never forgets, and neither do we. We'll see you next time.